The first article I wanted to talk about is about a guy named the Praying Medic. That's what he calls himself. His real name is Dave Hayes. And he is famous for being the de facto leader of the QAnon movement. He pushes the opinions forward. He shouts people out in the movement. He doesn't really sway the discussion much. He just kind of continues pushing the ideals that Q, the original QAnon poster, originally put out there. So this guy isn't coming up with original thought, really. He's just trying to interpret what the original Q poster said and push people in the right direction and build a social media network that QAnon followers can go to and listen to and kind of figure out the interpretations for. That's who this guy is. I don't want you guys to think that he's a nobody. I specifically pulled up some articles that mention him by name because I wanted to show you how seriously we should be taking him and his movement and where he stands in it. This article is titled Arizona-based QAnon interpreter, militia mobilizer, and other pages taken down off of Facebook during a crackdown. This article was actually released October 8th, 2020, so about a year ago. I don't know if you guys remember, but Facebook and YouTube and a bunch of others, Twitter, all kind of came together and decided to take down a bunch of QAnon pages, a bunch of QAnon-related material and accounts. And his was among those accounts that were removed. The article starts out at the top here. It says, Praying Medic, the pen name of an Arizona man who's become one of the more popular and influential interpreters of the writings by the mysterious entity known as Q, has left Facebook after the social media website announced a crackdown on pages promoting the QAnon conspiracy. Again, this is the Praying Medic that we're looking at right here. This is the guy. We're going to be watching a few clips from him in a little while, but I just wanted to give you an idea of who he is first. QAnon, a set of baseless online conspiracy claims, generally allege that high-ranking officials are covering up secret crimes and other evils. It's become a prominent issue during this campaign season as more activists support the idea and as Republicans, including the president, have been slow to condemn it. This was actually, I think, right before the election. November 3rd is when the election took place, 2020, I think. This came out October 8th. Of course, Trump has denied even knowing what QAnon is, so he, in theory, shouldn't be upset that they removed all of these pages, right? Since he doesn't know what it is. They are completely and totally 100% obsessed with Trump. They believe that he is like their new Messiah, like the new Jesus. They believe that he's going to bring a storm, as they call it. He's going to start the storm, which is basically an event where a bunch of political figures get arrested and all this other stuff. I'll tell you what, why don't we just listen to the Praying Medic explain the storm for us? Again, this is the Praying Medic on the right. This clip came out May 2019. Check this out.
Q has often said, especially over the last 6 months, this is going to be the end of the D Party. The end of the Democrat Party. Okay, now, if you are, average person listening, watching Q, like, what do you mean the end of the Democrat Party? The Democrat Party is not going to end. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to explain to you how the Democrat Party is going to end. What we are going to see in the next year unrolled.
The next year unrolled. That was a prediction. Again, this clip came out May 2019. A year from then would be May 2020. So we are now a year and a half out from when this prediction should have ended. Over a year and a half out. As you'll come to see, he hasn't given up faith. We'll get there. He actually posted a tweet on April 15th, 2019, so shortly before this clip was released, that says, "Buckle up, looks like the storm is here." Another, April 30th, 2020, the following year, "There be a storm brewing." November 9th, 2018, "Buckle up, Buttercup, looks like a storm is brewing." He has been prophesying, I've chosen that word very specifically, prophesying that the storm is coming and that there are going to be mass arrests and Donald Trump is going to take control of the government and the military and everything else for like 2-3 years now, more. Let's keep listening.
Unrolled is likely hundreds of members of Congress, most of them Democrats, some Republicans. All right, they're going to be arrested and they're going to be prosecuted for corruption. Q said that people in Congress were warned the storm is coming, and they were told, if you are playing the game and you are in Congress when the storm hits, you're going to be prosecuted. They saw the storm coming and they were like, okay, I'm out. They were cut a deal. You get out, you won't be prosecuted. If you stay in, the hammer's going to fall on you, you're going to be prosecuted.
Is there like any evidence for this at all? He's making a lot of real serious claims here, right? He's claiming that the members of Congress were offered a deal. If they got out of Congress now, then they would be safe from prosecution. But the storm is coming right around the corner. Remember, this clip came out May 2019, and apparently there's still no storm here. Do these people, like, live in the same reality as us? I mean, at what point is this guy going to say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong in 2018 when I made this claim. I was wrong in 2019. I was wrong in 2020. No, he's not doing that. This next clip I wanted to watch is from 2021, late October 2021. Give this a watch.
Please keep President Trump in prayer. Keep Q and the team in prayer. There were some interesting Scavino tweets, an Ace Scavino tweet last night with an interesting delta. It's on my Telegram timeline if you want to check it out. Like I said before, I think Q and the team have been observing us on social media. I suspect they're probably pretty proud about the way we've handled things in their absence.
What's fascinating about this is that after the election, Q went completely silent. The person that basically created this cult stopped posting, stopped saying a fucking word. The last Q drops were... Hold on, let me find it. November 3rd, 2020, the day before or the day of the election, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. It was a quote from Abraham Lincoln, May 1863. October 31st, 2020, so last year around this time. Are you ready to take back control of this country? Are you ready to hold the political elite accountable? Are you ready to finish what we started? Nothing can stop what is coming is not just a catchphrase. Those were the last posts. After that, November 12th, nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. I mean, these are like daily messages that they were sending originally. In fact, multiple per day that they were originally sending. And it jumped from November 3rd, day of the election, to November 12th. Gigantic 9-day gap in there where they didn't say a word. And then the next thing they say is nothing can stop what's coming. And then on November 13th, they just said Durham, Q. That's it. And then December 8th, 2020, they posted a link to a YouTube video. The YouTube video was just a song. We're not going to take it anymore. You probably know the song. I don't remember who sings it. Twisted Sister, maybe? Who fucking knows? Anyways, the point is, after December 8th, after posting that link to that YouTube video, they didn't say another word. Not one. After December 8th, 2020, that's the last time Q posted anything at all for anybody to read. And here we are a year later, and this fella right here, the praying medic, seems to be under the impression that Q would be happy with where they took things, with what they were doing.
On social media, I suspect they're probably pretty proud about the way we've handled things in their absence.
So the cult leader disappears seemingly permanently. It's been a year, and they're still hooked into this. They still believe this. Not only do they still believe this, but check this next clip out. This is mid-October 2021.
I would just advise people, be patient, hang in there, wait. Don't be impatient, don't be upset if it doesn't go at the speed that you want it to. The storm is coming, and there is nothing anyone is going to do to stop it. The storm is on its way.
The guy is so suckered into this movement, he can't let it go. He made a storm prediction in 2018, 2019, 2020, and now 2021. When is he going to give up on this? Will he ever? I don't think so. I think the QAnon movement is here to stay permanently. I don't believe it's going anywhere. You know, there are still members of the Heaven's Gate cult out there. 39 people died that night. The night of March 26, 1997, that's when they were all found 39 people, including the leader, Marshall Applewhite, a.k.a. Doe, like the musical note. They were all found in their Rancho Santa Fe, California mansion, just dead, just laying there dead. And to this day, there are still active believers of this cult. QAnon is here to stay permanently. It is a permanent fixture. It's sad, but we're going to have to address these batshit crazy beliefs at some point as a society. There's no way of getting around it. What's worse is Donald Trump's lawyer, Lynn Wood, carries water for the QAnon movement, if you will. And he offered some pretty interesting ideas, opinions, if you will, to a crowd who gathered to listen to him speak. This one was from mid-October 2021. Give this a listen.
9/11, you want to talk about that? Yeah. Let's talk about CGI. You know what that is? Computer graphics generated images. You know what CGI is? You know what deep fake videos are? I know you know what photoshopping is. 2001, the estimate was there was $3.5 trillion. That was the estimate. That had been stolen from the defense budget.
Okay, first of all, I'm real skeptical of that claim. $3.5 trillion in 2001? This is pre-9/11. They were doing this investigation before 9/11 took place. I have no idea what he's talking about. I'm extremely skeptical from the get-go. Let's keep listening.
They were going to have hearings starting on November the 12th to discuss that money that had been stolen and was missing. That was your money, by the way. And then all of a sudden, on 9/11, what appeared to be a plane hit one building, what appeared to be a plane hit another building. Then later that night, another building fell down that wasn't hit by a dead-gum thing.
What appeared to be a plane. And a minute ago, he was talking about CGI, like computer graphics and stuff.
It was the building that went down, Building 7, that had all the paperwork in it with respect to the missing money.
I am hesitant to believe a single word this guy says. I haven't heard a word about this investigation of $3.5 trillion. Like, that's a lot of fucking money. And aside from that, the investigation would have continued. Even if the documentation had gone away or whatever, the investigation would have continued. It doesn't matter. Let's continue.
And the Pentagon got hit by a missile. There were no plane fragments found anywhere on any of the sites.
It was a plane.
New York, Pennsylvania, the Pentagon. And they just happened to hit where the papers were about the missing money. There are no coincidences. We got played. We got played by people that are so evil that for money, they killed 2,800 Americans on that day, including policemen and firefighters. If George Bush 43 is not already in hell, then he needs to go to jail before he goes to hell, because he is a criminal.
How wrong is this, man? You know, when I was growing up, I was not allowed to be politically involved. As a Jehovah's Witness, I was basically banned from being politically involved at all. I remember when the whole 9/11 thing was going down. I remember hearing about it. I was in like 7th grade or something, I think. And all of my classmates were talking about it and everything. But the next day, my parents never talked about it. My parents never got into it. I mean, I watched the news footage and all that stuff, but then I went on with my life because as a Jehovah's Witness, I was not supposed to be politically involved. And as a result, I feel like I missed out on a large cultural experience in the United States. Everybody else was trying to keep up with exactly what happened on that day. They were trying to keep up with, you know, the phone calls that people made from the airphones when they were in the airplane and all of the events that unfolded. They wanted to know everything about it. And there was a sense of unity in the country. We all felt like Americans rather than Republicans and Democrats. But that wasn't me. I was neither a Republican, nor a Democrat, nor an American. I was a Jehovah's Witness, first and foremost. So this past 9/11, a few months ago, I started going through all of the documents. I started reading about it, trying to understand what happened, reading about the experiences of the people on the airplane where they were told to go to the back of the plane and sit back there and they would be landing at the airport again soon and things like that. And how these people actually made a plan together to rush the cockpit and stop this from happening. They knew something was wrong. And the people in this plane, I don't remember which plane it was or what their original target was, maybe Washington, D.C., but anyways, these people actually got into the cockpit. They knew they were going to die. They got into the cockpit, and the pilot did what he was instructed to do if he wasn't able to reach his target, which is crash the plane. He had to crash the plane because he knew he was going to fail, because those people in the back knew they had to prevent this from happening. They had to stop this tragedy. They knew they were probably going to die, and they rushed the cockpit anyways to stop this tragedy from taking place, and they succeeded. They succeeded for that plane, at the very least. And here we sit, listening to Donald Trump's lawyer making light of it. Not just making light of it, but acting like it didn't happen. Acting like that was all a big fabricated lie. You know where Donald Trump was this past 9/11? He was at Ground Zero taking pictures with firefighters and telling people that he was down there on 9/11 helping people clean up in the aftermath. Of course, complete bullshit. We know where he was on 9/11 because a few years ago, he told us in a phone interview what he was doing. He was standing in Trump Tower looking out the window, watching it burn, and thinking to himself, that used to be the tallest building. Now Trump Tower is the tallest building.
I watched people jumping off the building, and I witnessed it. I watched that because I had a view. I have a window in my apartment that specifically was aimed at the World Trade Center because of the beauty of the whole downtown Manhattan.
Many of those affected were firefighters, police officers, and other first responders. And I was down there also. But I'm not considering myself a first responder. But I was down there. I spent a lot of time down there with you.
Way to show respect for the people who gave their lives to save others. Way to show respect, Linwood. Way to show respect, Donald Trump. There is no low that these people won't reach to. They just keep digging. As we heard the praying medic say earlier, they are convinced that Donald Trump is in complete control and he's going to bring the system to a grinding halt one of these days. Morally repugnant. This whole movement is morally repugnant. I can't think of a better word for it.